Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Duskmourn Chronicles, episode 52 for those of you who didn't look at the thumbnail or read the description or keep track of what happened last week. I mean, for heaven's sakes, people, if you don't know what number it is, then you're probably in the same boat as we are because we keep looking it up going, what number is it now? Can you believe it? Anyway, right, so Dice of Destiny is going to tell us who is going to give us the recap. Here is the dice, here is the roll. The roll is number 11, and that is a Scot.
Finally, it's been a little while.
It has been, yes. So, what happened last week?
Last week, I got knocked down, but I get up again. Ain't never going to keep me down. Avaradus attempted to hastily retrieve the second volume of the Crepuscularium from a plinth that was being guarded by two angelic-type creatures. Meanwhile, there was a slumbering, I think it was were we saying a glass dragon?
Glass dragon, yeah.
This is sort of a feral beast below us. And threatened by the fact that these angels appeared and appeared to be shouting and just trying to get out of there very quickly, Avaradus made a classic blunder of just trying to yank it and run, and got, for his troubles, stabbed several times, got knocked down, causing the rest of the team to step up yet again to pave over his mistakes. It's a reoccurring theme. And the last of Kelly's heroes, save for Kelly himself, have died in glorious battle. To Valhalla they would go, if such a place existed in this realm.
They would be surprised, considering they're all Sagetti, but yes.
Yes. And they came across to save me. I offered to take one back once I was back up, but they weren't down for that. Meanwhile, a very clever ploy by Dorin and Gemini to distract the dragon, which allowed them to cross safely. I can't really remember what Gottfried was doing other than sort of hovering around, just
I think he was shouting, "Get the book, get the book, get the book."
He now has the book, though, and he's very excited about that. And we kind of left things off, having made it back across the chasm, I guess you'd call it, and just kind of thinking about the pickle we're in. There's an undead Sagetti wizard. He's very angry, and he's kind of maybe holding Kelly hostage, demanding we return the second volume to him. Meanwhile, outside of the caverns, we've got an angry warlord, Selkos, waiting for us to return. And beyond that, we've got a situation with the slaves perhaps going to be slaughtered by the army. So lots going on, and let's see how we can work our way out of this one.
And can I just give some advice to DMs everywhere? When you have got your players together and they are wont to talk and plan, don't make a channel on your Discord saying no DMs allowed, because I have never been more tempted to look into that little channel to see what planning and conniving has been going on all week. Anyway, I haven't looked, I promise. And it's also because my plan's are already in motion. There's not much I can do about it. So,
I mean, you give us a lot of credit, Guy, if you think that we've been planning for a whole week. Check the activity from the last 24 hours, maybe.
Yeah, that's when I decided to chime in.
Aha!
I did write lists, though.
Oh, there we go.
Write lists.
You don't write lists. Okay, well, let's see what you do as we sink back down into that darkest depth of the ruins of the tomb of Castepi III, and you are in the small interstitial passageway between the chamber of the glass dragon and Zotesh's sarcophagi tomb, I guess you could say. What are you doing?
So the door has closed behind us, Guy, into the kind of glass dragon area.
Oh, yes.
And it's also at the other end of this corridor, sealed off to the kind of via a secret door to this main corridor leading out to the wizard.
Correct.
Right? So we are in a relatively safe zone. That being said, we've just dragged Avaradus into this area, and he's kind of bloodied, and we've just been watching the Kelly's heroes, the remainder of them being kind of choosing death rather than to come with Averatus with his dimension door. So I think Doran is just going to turn to Averatus and just walk to him and say, Averatus, do you need help? Are you injured? Can I help you?
I will turn to Doran and go, if you could stop the bleeding, I think I'd appreciate that, actually.
Yeah.
You can see this hole right through me, basically.
We're going to cast Cure Wounds on you, so you get 19 hit points back.
Very cool.
Very nice. Whilst you're doing that, what is Gemini doing?
Not gonna lie, she does kind of enjoy the fact that Averatus looks like he's in a lot of pain. But, you know, she tries not to be too smug about that because his absolute risk-taking has resulted in getting the second book. So she is quite interestedly hovering over Gottfried's shoulder and is wanting to see what is going on in there.
And Gottfried, are you doing anything other than what we expect you to be doing?
Of course not. Yeah, so the book, I believe, was open on the page where it said how to destroy gods.
Mm-hmm.
Love to do a little speed read of that particular page.
All right.
That'd be the first protocol.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Go ahead and give me an investigate check, if you please. And Gemini, you can assist.
Yes,
well,
please.
you are assisting, so you have advantage on the roll there, Gottfried.
Cool.
See, welcome.
Indeed. That's good. That's good. That is 24.
Well, your speed read, you're not looking at the finer details, but basically, you need to slay the god in their realm. But it's a bit more cryptic than that, because it's not just in their realm, it's in their original realm.
Okay. No problem.
See what happens when you speed read a single page?
Yeah, never a good idea.
Original realm. What does that mean?
At this point, Godfrey becomes aware that you're over his shoulder. He's like,
You mean he
What
didn't?
does that mean?
He didn't notice Gemini's finger pointing at specific words that kind of drew your attention. I love it. I love it.
Okay. What I'll do then is yeah, I'm just going to survey the situation, and if nothing's about to stab me, everybody else is fair game. I'm going to give that a bit more of a detailed read. See if I can find out more about what it means.
All right, fair enough. Doran, Kelly is with you guys, and he leans over and he says, "So did He's not. No, where is he?
He's outside with Vorseth. We pinned.
Oh, that's right.
Made
you
him
left
into that.
Yeah,
noble.
yeah. That's right. That's
So
right.
we're by
yeah.
ourselves. Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
mean,
Sorry, my note didn't.
Doran will see his comrades who are just kind of,
Yes.
Godfrey's doing his Godfrey thing. Gemini is hovering there. Averatus is badly injured. He's just going to start mumbling and start waving his hands around esoterically and spend a minute to cast Doran's tiny temple. Friends, we need to rest here. Gottfried, get inside the bloody temple. We can talk about this later. Get inside, Gottfried. And he's going to try and manhandle him into the Doran's tiny temple.
I have a question on that tiny temple. Can it be cast in a 5-foot wide space?
It says a 10-foot emanation springs into existence. The spell fails if you cast it if the emanation isn't big enough to fully encapsulate all creatures in the area.
Bugger.
But that's all creatures. So that's fine.
Yeah. So long as you fit in it, it's just a much more cramped, tiny temple.
I just remember some spells you couldn't cast if they couldn't fit into the space. But this is 5 foot wide, but it is definitely about 60 feet long. So
it could be 20 feet long, just very thin. But as long as us 5 can fit in there, us 4 can fit in there, it should be okay.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's just more of a sepulcher as opposed to a temple.
There we go. Look at you. All right. So there you go. You are inside your little tiny hut.
Right. Friends, what the hell are we going to do? You've got the book, Gottfried, but we're in a sticky situation.
Yes, escaping from here with this book without essentially handing it over to a evil third party, it's going to be extremely difficult.
Yes, there's still lots of treasure inside that chamber, which may distract Selkos. Which I feel like if we're going past that way, we will need to do so, and especially with your little shot collar thing you've got there, Avaradus.
Speaking of which, let me see that thing. I'm going to cast Identify on his ring. I'm going to use my ritual as action, Order of the Scribes thing to do it with an action rather than wasting any time.
All right. So as you cast it on Selkos's ring that he basically convinced our Avaradus to put on, the ring allows Selkos to listen and see everything that is being listened to and seen by the bearer of said ring. Luckily, it doesn't have any kind of compulsion or anything along those kinds of lines. But it is going to be nearly impossible to remove unless you sort of cut off the finger, as it is not wont to be dislodged until Selkos lets it.
Remove curse?
That would work.
Yeah.
It's technically a cursed item, yeah.
Avaradus, could you step outside the temple for a moment?
Absolutely, I see some very interesting grains of sand out there that I simply must inspect.
Gemini and Gottfried, we need to remove this ring. If we're going to get out of here and somehow get past the warlord, we can't do it if he knows exactly what we're doing.
Of course.
Well,
I have an idea. The ring can allow Selkos to see and hear through Avaradus's eyes, but not feel. Maybe we can engineer Avaradus somehow dying, at least dying to Selkos. So it seems like he's dead and the ring has no bearer anymore. Maybe if we can trick him, that will be enough to remove the ring without suspicion from Selkos. And it might also mean that Avaradus is free to do Avaradus things.
Indeed. Also, though, if this ring has been listening and watching us the entire time,
Yes.
it may have heard all of our plans, and Selkos may already indeed be on his way to Vashtanam to try and take my child.
So we have to move quickly then.
We need to make sure they're protected for sure.
I can message the general, Gemini. We can protect Vashtanam. I can make sure she is surrounded and hidden by the best of them. We can do that for sure. I can also...
I would be most grateful for that.
Let's do it immediately. Actually, let's discuss the plans and then we can figure out which sendings to send. Just above table.
Use your resources as well as possible.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
When you said that, so is this ring allowing Selkos to see through his eyes, or is it kind of like a clairvoyance where there's a sensor above or around him?
See through his eyes, hear through his ears.
Good. Yeah.
So
I mean, it's not very delicate, but we could just sneak up behind him, knock him out, and from the ring's perspective, he's gone bye-bye.
Perhaps, Gemini, you could leverage some of your acting skills. Make it sound as though the threat to your child has overcome you with rage and you dispatch him. And as for knocking him out, he's in a rather vulnerable state. This might be a perfect time.
Trust me, I won't need to act for this.
Any of you can give me an Arcana check, if you please, as you are formulating your plan.
Arcana plus 11. I got a 29. Sorry. Yes, 29.
Sadly, knocking Avaradus out won't do very much. It is a cursed item, and the curse will know that he is not dead.
Oh, I see.
Otherwise, one could just get rid of curses by knocking people out. No, indeed. His life force would need to be snuffed out completely.
Do you have Revivify, Doran?
I do. So, Gottfried, if you did such a high Arcana, would my other plan, if I say above table without role playing, is to try and get Avaradus to peek back into the big cavern where the glass dragon was, and for Gemini to illusion a giant dragon maw just chomping down on Avaradus's face, got free to do some thaumaturgy, massive blinding light, as in glass or fire, has just engulfed Averatus. So the senses are overloaded. And right at that moment for Doran to cast Remove Curse to get rid of the ring. So it would appear, therefore, that he has been vaporized by the glass dragon. That's kind of how I think we could play it. I wonder if that's going to be convincing enough. If we do it all at the right time.
If the ring taps into his life force, then it will know.
But if we but when the ring is attuned and then immediately Remove Curse unattunes it, and at that exact moment we see a giant dragon maw and a blinding light of what could be heat and fire, maybe that'll be enough to kind of convince Selkos that.
With that,
as long as the timing is right, I think that might work.
With your Arcana check, you're fairly certain that would work. Remove Curse or the death of the character is indiscernible in this case.
Okay. Yeah, I'm up for that. Do you have any?
Sure, you don't need me to rough him up a little bit.
I mean, whichever.
Maybe it'll scare him enough that he'll be a bit sad.
I'm not going to stand in your way, Gemini. That boy needs sometimes a bit of tough love.
Yes, he does.
We should talk like this more often, the three of us, with him just like outside. I like this.
I am genuinely concerned that he is not the man well, he used to be, certainly. But anyway.
So there's a timing issue here a little bit. I have to pray overnight for over 8 hours to gather the wisdom to cast Remove Curse. So I will need some time to do that.
Right.
But the other component, but I think we can set other parts of the plan in motion before that. So my idea is that we have a grave threat in this undead sorcerer outside, a spiteful creature. Doran spits on the ground, thinking about this undead creature. We also have the warlord Selkos, who is powerful beyond expectation. Why don't we use one rock to smash against another and face them off against each other, and then at the same time have the Sagetti army in secret pour down through the Undercroft and smash into the back of these two warring factions, maybe with enough chaos and damage and madness that will be enough to break the undead or Selkos himself. What do you think, Gemini?
Well, certainly chaos may put us in a good stead with our god that's going to help us with the third book.
Reft.
Yes.
Right, Gemini.
A lover of perversion, and this certainly sounds like it may be something fully chaotic that he might enjoy, or they might enjoy.
This could be exactly what Reft would need to see from us if we unleash the madness and the music, the mystique, everything on this moment. Maybe that'll be enough for Reft to see that we are worthy to be invited.
We wouldn't want the armies to go slashing their way through, killing innocents.
I could ask Aru to aid the army, because it's a maze down here, but Aru knows generally the direction we came. Maybe Aru can guide the army and offer the help of the slaves to take back the Undercroft.
How long do you think it will take the army to reach this position? Do we have any idea?
Can I use kind of dwarfish underground knowledge guy to kind of figure out?
Or just how long it took us to get down here?
Exactly. So
4 episodes?
Yeah. But you're here for 4 hours, man.
Yeah, you probably, if the army was ready to go immediately, you'd probably say they could get here within 4 days, if they're lucky.
4 days?
It's a long time.
You guys were able to move fairly quickly, but you still had a lot of advantages of being able to detect exactly where you were going. Remember, it is a maze down here. So unless the army has some way of pinging exactly where you are...
We'd only really need to get the army to where Selkos is.
Oh, sorry, yes, to get to Selkos.
Correct.
Yes, and it wouldn't be 4 days. No, probably a day. In terms of mustering the army, marching down there, it's not like they're going to be running. So probably a day, yeah.
Okay, so then if we don't put Selkos marching down to fight Vorseth, the undead, then we just ask the Suggested General to come down, defeat Selkos, and then move on.
Yes, or we could also be trying to get Zortesh to move towards Selkos as well, and we all meet in the middle at Selkos's lair.
Yes. I would imagine that Zortesh would find it a matter of indignation to know that there is a crime lord operating in the vicinity of this holy tomb. He would be outraged, I would hope.
Perhaps to try and keep, if we can, Selkos on side until the moment that we're arriving. We can be talking about a raid on the treasure tomorrow, once we've rested in front of Avaradus so they can hear. Once we let Avaradus in, do we think if we message Avaradus to let him in on what we're talking about, that will go through to Selkos?
Not likely.
No, I don't think so. So we can, so you can either use a message or I can,
Right, so we can get him clued in. We can tell him that our plan is to, once we've rested, get the treasure. So hopefully Selkos thinks we're very much on board for bringing him lots of goodies.
Indeed, and then we can contrive his death during the process of trying to get some of the treasure, which I think we should try to do.
It certainly might come in useful when dealing with the Pharos, who currently wants you all to give him the Dwarven lands.
Yes.
That old
Just as
chestnut.
another thing ticking along in the background.
There's no one taking my lands, lady.
I have another
Except for the
rather
drow.
crazy plan to try to help us, or idea to try and help us loot this place. My understanding is this dragon is a wild animal that is not even receptive to the commands of its owner.
If we're talking about looting, by the way, shall we get Avaradus back in on this conversation? As much as I hate to admit it, he can be useful with things occasionally.
This is true, yeah.
We just need to be careful what we say around him while he's wearing the ring.
Oh,
So if it's now to talk about looting, do we want to send some messages, some sendings before Avaradus comes in, so they don't see the... Yeah, okay.
Idea.
So I have just above table, I have like 2 sending spells available now before long resting. So I'm going to use one to send to the Suggested General, and the second to send to Aru, our slave. And I'm not going to send anything to Selkos right now. So I'm just going to get the Suggested moving towards Selkos, right?
Yeah.
So the first sending guy is going to go to Aru, and it says, Aru, your chance for redemption is now. Aid the Suggested army against the tomb's evil Selkos. Prove your worth. Freedom awaits through courage and loyalty.
He gets to send back stuff, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't know how this works. He's never had this in his head before. You get back, he's not even Suggested, and yet he sounds like a damn overlord, already treating me like property. Okay, sure, I do this. How do I respond? Yes, master, I am grateful for the...
25 words up.
25 words.
brilliant.
All right.
So then to the general, I will say something along the lines of, so the tomb is it Tel Saret's tomb or Castepi's tomb?
The tomb that you're in,
Yeah.
you are in the tomb of Castepi III.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was the mad one.
Oh, sorry, that is the mad one. Yes, no,
Yeah.
no. You are right. You are in the tomb of Castepi. Yes. Is that
Okay,
right?
we're in the Pharaoh's tomb. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, let's just
So
leave
I'll
it at
say,
Yeah.
sending it to the general. Remind me of the general's name, anyone? The handsome fellow?
Captain Rasa, I have.
Captain Rasa.
And his legion
I
of
will-
4,500 men. Unless you're talking about the actual general in totality of the empire.
Yeah, the one that Avaradus was best mates with.
feel like that was
yes, I've got
Rasa.
that. No, well,
no.
Captain Rasa was assigned to you
No, it was
by the general.
Telsakanamen.
Yes, I've just found that as
Kunamen.
well. Army leader.
Yeah, military general, exactly. So I'll send a message to tell Sakunamen.
Yes, sorry, brawny general. Here are my notes.
Yep.
Yes.
Brawny general. He only uses brawn toothbrush.
That's it.
The brawny general, I will say, the pharaoh's sacred tomb under attack by defilers. Bring army into the undercroft. The slaves stand ready to aid your righteous fury. Protect Vashtanam.
His response. Oh boy.
The number you have dialed is not in service.
His response is that is very interesting, and I will dispatch what I can. Developments on surface are drawing my attention elsewhere.
Oh.
Shit hits the fan upstairs
Oh.
in the penthouse.
Let's just stay in this corridor forever.
Okay. So we sent off the messages, therefore we can expect that they will start making their way down in a day or so. So we have a day to get loot and get the Vorseth towards Selkos, or to try and get to a killing ground for them. So we also have to kind of knock out and convince Avradis that he's died. So can we agree that we go in, we loot, so Selkos sees what we're doing and is occupied, and on the way out, we wink at each other like this, which works really well on camera because everyone can see it. And that's the cue for illusion, thaumaturgy, remove curse.
Yes.
And I mean, in game we can do that telepathically and stuff. So it's, you know what I mean. So it's
And it's got plenty of message to spam around.
yeah.
Whilst you've been doing your lovely messages, Gemini will have gone out to see Avaradus. How's all that sand going?
I gave up counting after about 20, to be honest with you.
Would you like me to rub some into your wounds?
I feel like that was somewhat deserved.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you stepping out so I could vent about you. Sometimes I just need to be able to do that sort of thing.
I have that effect on many people.
That really doesn't surprise me in the slightest. But we are planning to loot and get a sizable treasure for Selkos, so I feel like your talents may be of use in our planning if you'd like to step back inside.
Absolutely.
And she's gonna...
Well, before you go, I would like to offer my sincerest apologies for the situation we find ourselves. And I will find a way to make it up to you.
You know, I recognize quite a bit of myself in you. We're both bullshitters. So I am grateful for your apology, but you'll understand if I find it difficult to trust or believe.
Well, if our words carry little weight, perhaps our actions will prove otherwise. So perhaps in time, we shall find a way to make amends.
I'll be watching, Avaradus.
Perhaps a truce for now?
For now. And she will proffer a hand to shake.
I shall offer my own and sort of wipe it on the sleeve. Try and get as much of the remnants of sand and looted corpses off my hands.
And as she takes your hand, she will look you in the eye, and with her sharp, well-manicured nails, she just gives you that little bit of a squeeze. That just is a warning, not an injury, to keep to this truce.
I mean, these nails may be sharp, but I once clawed myself out of my own grave, so I think I've had worse.
Impressive. After you.
You step back inside.
And Gemini will message him the update of what he missed out on in the tiny temple.
Including the part where you're about to
The bit where we're going to pretend to kill you, not actually
keep
kill
that
you.
secret. Keep that a secret from him. Come on.
She won't tell him that she decided that she wanted to try and kill him. But everything that's relevant to the plan of his fake death, so he can escape Selkos's power over the ring. That sort of thing. So let's plan looting.
I'm very excited for this plan.
Well, I mean, the first thing is we absolutely have to rest. I think we're all a little bit injured and used and abused somewhat. So can we take 8 hours, Guy, to also rest at this point in time?
Are we not worried about Kelly in the company?
He'll be fine. He was promoted to a noble.
Yes, but he's not really the most experienced in deceiving. Certainly those that he looks up to as his superiors.
What can we do for him, though?
Well, is there any way that we can get him down this corridor? It seems like Zortesh is unable to make his way down here.
If he attempted to leave Zotesh's presence, he wouldn't make it very far.
Did anyone get the impression that Zortesh wasn't just arrogantly sending the minions to go and fetch it, but that he actually couldn't enter this area?
I got that
Yes.
impression.
I thought he said as much.
He said, I can't enter, I believe.
Can we trick him to enter? Will that help destroy him, or will that just put us further in the shit we're already in?
I think it may be a matter of a kind of a legal prohibition rather than an inability or a, that suffer. He simply
Bureaucracy, how fun.
exactly. It's against the rules. I would love to just let loose the dragon and see if it would eat him. Yeah, open the door and let the wild animal loose. We're safe up here.
Are we? It has quite a ranged breath weapon.
As our door is closed. And if we were to contrive the opening of the door, I mean, maybe this creature would finally seek its freedom. It's been cooped up for a long time,
Seek its freedom through the thousands of slaves who are living in this Umbercroft.
Well, Sand Wizard versus Dragon. My bet is on the Sand Wizard.
The glass dragon? Or the sand
No,
wizard?
I think the Lich would win.
Would win, yeah?
Oh, yes. Yes.
If it weren't such dire consequences, I'd want to make a bet.
Yeah. Let's do that. Let's make it even more fun.
I'll take it.
500 gold pieces.
Which may put us in good stead with Reft if we were making a bet on something so disastrous.
I would love to know Reft's motivations. Wish we could discern this somehow.
There's
But
so
anyway.
much.
Doran
That's a
is
matter for another
mumbling
day.
in the corner. Doran is, God is speaking to me. And you want to speak to Reft? Gottfried? Reft?
I just want to know what is his possible motivation for allowing mortals to have their hands on something that could be literally dangerous to his.
Only way we can do that is by talking to him, and give me some time. I can speak with him, at least figure out if what we're about to attempt is worthy of his attention and an invitation into the God's golden halls.
Yeah, so simply ask him what it would take for him to extend such an invitation. And if you can phrase it in such a way that might reveal his agenda,
The limits of my spell are such that I ask a question about the course of the next several days or hours. It's
I understand.
tricky to ask more than that. But maybe even in the asking of the question, something will be revealed, Gottfried.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Most interesting. I didn't realize you could talk to other gods. This is very useful.
Guy,
The
are
man of the
we
cloth.
within 120 feet, do we think, potentially, of Kelly?
Could be.
As this deep conversation about contacting the gods is going on, Gemini's going to fire off a message in the direction of Kelly and How are you holding in on, Master?
Nice use of that word. He has not really talked with me since your departure. He keeps throwing magic at the doorway to the passage, but it doesn't go beyond the door. He is very unhappy about this.
Thank you for that intelligence.
Which door?
Do you see a way of escape?
There are only two entrances into this chamber. The one he cannot get out, and the one leading to you and whatever is beyond.
So he is trapped.
It certainly seems like that.
Thank you, Kelly. Hang in there, Master. I shall report this to the rest of the team.
How are the rest of my men doing?
I regret to say that they are no longer with us, but they fell as heroes. Your heroes.
Your name's Kelly.
That Kelly is heroes.
I think they got the joke about 3 episodes ago.
Just let's make sure.
Just to make
just
sure.
check
There you
in.
go. Just check in. There's no response from him, either because he chooses not to or because, he's turned to ash, but that's not likely. So yes, there's no response from him.
Oh, okay. Gemini will relay the situation that Zortesh is in. Seems he is unable to get out, and certainly to get to us.
Is he trying to get to us through the secret door or through the main door? Secret door, I presume.
Secret
Main
door.
No, there's a main
He
door.
can't get out of the main door, and he's throwing all his magic at the secret door. Is that correct, Guy?
No, just the way
No,
that Kelly
sorry.
explained it sounds like the door that you came through to get into the sarcophagus chamber,
He can't get out
he
of.
can't get out of.
And he can't get into the
Doesn't-
area where we are.
No,
So he's stuck in this sarcophagus area. So we might be able to bypass it with a DD, with a double D dimension door.
Oh, yeah.
Anyone can
Yeah,
give me an insight check, if you like, with this new revelation.
I've got 19 passive insight, Guy. So
Okay,
just-
all right. Well,
Okay.
that's fine. My monsters will just
Flex.
have, plus 19 passive to hit. Anyway, so you might roll a 1. You never know.
Yeah.
Never know.
I didn't roll a 1. I rolled a 3.
Okay.
So let's take a 19 passive.
What's this let's take? Since when has DM ever become the sort of decision-making process of the masses? Anyway, don't even get me started on passives. Why bother rolling if everything's just a passive? But that's a whole different rant. So,
It's a new 3rd edition dinosaur.
That mean you'd like us to roll,
says the 1st
Guy?
edition dinosaur.
right, exactly. Anyway, it does not matter. Your insight suggests to you that if you are a pharaoh and you are having your most loyal servants buried with you, part of your obsession with being buried with these people is that they wouldn't be able to ever leave you. Otherwise, what's the point of burying them with you? So you strongly suspect that Zotash cannot leave because of some right that was placed upon him 20,000 years ago. Whether he would want to or not, which is possibly why he's so unhappy with life.
Pretty confident that he
It's
could.
very good
take-
news.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he was just lying, but he wanted to take. He told us he wanted to take the Crepuscularium to the Pharos, didn't he?
It's a very powerful book, and he's a very clever sand wizard. I'm sure he would be able to find a way to make it out.
To break those bonds, right? If it's a book about
Yes.
breaking gods, he could break a bond
I
from
think so.
20,000 years ago.
Yeah, Pharaoh is essentially a god to the Sagittaria. So.
This
Might be a
book is
question-
his key to get out. Let's not give him the key.
No.
And the question about the sarcophagus tomb area where the wizard is now, how large is that, Guy, if you can remind us? It's less than 400 feet across, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I don't have the exact dimensions. I believe it's 400. I think it was.
I just remember it was very tall.
It
as
was
well.
very, very tall. Yes, sarcophagus on
Mhm.
top of sarcophagus. I think it was. But well, by very tall, you took 5d6 falling damage, so it must be 50 or 60 feet tall. Yeah. So
For the purposes of a dimension door,
you'd be able
for
to get
instance, you
across.
could bypass it.
You could, absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
Good to know.
Very good. Very
Should
nice.
we, should we long rest and then do some looting?
Well,
Yes.
the only thing weighing on my mind is that do we rescue Kelly? He has been loyal to us and he has helped us get this far. We would not have got this far without him and his men. Perhaps we could persuade, with a very quick moment of saying we need reinforcements from Kelly, otherwise we'll never get the Crepuscularium and then he'll never escape.
I suppose there's no harm in trying. The lich is stuck there.
Doran looks down in shame and whispers, I might have an idea, but you're
Yeah.
not going to like it.
You tell.
Loot first. Kelly afterwards.
So we think that Kelly will last the next 8-9 hours?
He's lost it so far. He's a kind of bargaining chip, as I see it, for Vorseth.
I mean, you can't start inflicting torture upon him. It's what I would do. Can you endure the sounds of 8 hours of torture, Doran?
Well, I did watch the first 3 Star Wars films in the...
Got a point. It's got a point, guys.
yeah,
He
yeah.
does, but he's also showing his age, considering those films came out more than 20 years ago now.
No, I mean the episode 1, 2, and 3. Not
Yes,
the,
yes.
Yeah.
those came
Oh
out.
my God, you're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
Yep.
20 years there.
Yep, 1999.
I was a child.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Okay.
You are
I
old.
saw I saw Star Wars: The New Hope in the cinema.
Yeah, you're
That's all.
ancient. Ancient.
Yep. Yeah.
You belong in a tomb, Maurice.
I mean,
Yeah.
Zortesh can't get through a certain barrier. We could stay safe on the side of the barrier and at least cry out for the assistance of Kelly and plead our case as we run back into the fray. Potentially,
Gemini-
Zortesh may be so frustrated by now that he is willing up to give up Kelly.
You are the persuasive one.
Yes.
Yep. Let's try that first. I agree.
There isn't a way that one of us could make it through the passage, take enough damage, survive past Zortesh, is there? Because I doubt it. I'm just saying, one of us who has Dimension Door could run in, grab him, and get out. That means that someone else would have to make it through. Unless
You always reach
We
for the most
ready.
hazardous plan.
I could try and banish him.
to where? To his coffin?
I mean, he just needs to disappear for a minute, and then we can get Kelly out if he fails the charisma saving throw.
If I am correct about what Zortash is, that simply won't work.
No.
He will simply resist it. He won't even have to expend willpower to do so. I think he is simply too dangerous. I think Gemini is right. Simply ask for reinforcements and do not get the ire of this ancient wizard.
Let's try it, and we can try it now before we stay in the safety of the corridor.
Oh yeah, I'm at the other end of the corridor.
yeah.
Right. Then we probably need some sort of sound of the dragon roaring. We need some vibrations from spells. Gemini just even she's not sure if they can see through the barrier, but she'll just put a bit of extra soot on her face from her disguise kit just to make herself look much more out of place than she would usually. We need crying. This is a whole production team, so I'm going to need you all to make as much noise as you can, and I will desperately plead for our hero and our master, who we can't possibly do anything without. As much as we try.
Crack my knuckle and prepare some thaumaturgy.
All right.
Best
Yeah,
I can do really is chuck
You
a few
are-
farts around the place. But
All right.
Yeah.
You call for help. You are doing your light show. Would you please give me, all of those of you who are trying to simulate this, please would you give me a performance check as you try to remember what these things sound like?
And I'll give guidance to Gemini.
Oh, that gives me a D4, doesn't it?
Yep.
And I'm gonna give I can also, I think I've still got a D8 bardic inspiration if somebody is. I'm gonna give it to Gottfried. I feel like he's not the most performative. Oh.
true, but you gave that to me already, so I'll use.
Oh, did I? You've already got one.
Yeah.
Is there anybody
it-
who I've not given a bardic inspiration to?
Give it to Averatus.
Go on then. We've got a truce. He can have
Go
one. There we go.
What was it again? Your bardic inspiration?
D8.
D8.
So, what was your performance check, Godfried?
With the bardic inspiration, I got a total of 17.
Very nice. Duran.
My lightning and sound of the dragon is just, I mean, you can't distinguish it from the real thing, guy. And, you know, frankly, my companions hearing my thaumaturgy are just weeping in terror. And that is thanks to my natural 20!
Nice. I thought you were going to say because of your passive performance.
In which case,
Isn't that what we're doing now? Sitting on our bums all evening playing D&D.
Exactly. No, so lovely. All right, and Gemini?
That's a 24 total for Gemini.
Oh my goodness. Between the lot of you, it sounds absolutely brilliant.
It's Oscar worthy.
I only got an 11, so although I'm going for wails of pain, it more sounds like I stubbed my toe.
That's
Ow,
right. It
oh,
is
fireball, ow.
drowned out under the sounds of roaring and lightning bolts and death and destruction.
Master, we need
Um,
you.
So, you hear Kelly shout back the following. It has been an honor to have you serve me. I will be there shortly.
Sooner than shortly, we'll die without you.
Can I roll an insight on
More
that guy?
convincingly than that, but
Yeah, you can roll an insight on it.
Oh.
Passive insight 19.
Okay.
Okay, I'll roll.
Nice
You're going to be getting some passive aggression from your DM.
Second natural 20 in a row, 29.
I see.
Give me the keys
I
to your
see.
car
Give me-
and house.
There we go. Absolutely. Right. So, he sounded as if he had been coerced to say that.
Oh.
And the first part was not planned. The first part was definitely he was hoping that you would get something out of it.
It's been an honor to. Is that a farewell, do you think?
It sounds like a farewell to me.
No. Shit. All right, Kelly.
Can you message him and ask him?
Yeah.
That
She's
works,
going to
right?
message him and be like,
All right, mate.
Say that again?
Master, was that a goodbye?
You don't get a response.
No.
Now, do remember he said his thoughts were being read.
Yes.
Maybe he's just staying stunned.
I hope so.
Mm.
Ooh.
Oh, do you know
This
what I'll
guy
do?
can-
Do you know what I'll do? I'll go towards. I basically get within 60 feet or so of the. Well, a little bit. I'll get right close to the secret door,
Uh-huh.
and I'll detect thoughts because one of the things it does is pings minds.
Right.
See if there's two minds in there or just one, because I still have a slot. Does he exist?
So you know that that's only within 30 feet, though.
Is it 30 feet?
Yeah.
Shit.
Got the spell.
Well,
Cast
right.
greater invisibility on you if you want. Go and take a look.
I ain't going out there, man. No, because that guy's going to have. He's probably got. Didn't he see something invisible? I think he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not risking that. No, I'll get right to the door though, just in case. I mean, if I get the 2, at least we'll know he's alive. If I don't, obviously we don't know. One way or the other, because he could be just too far.
This is...
Oh, so I'll
Yeah.
let you finish that. Gemini is going to say, Master, I fear we will not be able to retrieve the book without your aid. You are a great and powerful master.
You did. You send that message.
Yeah.
You get the. Yeah, you get the ping back of walk forward.
He's being mind controlled, right? I wonder if that means that he's going to be able to control him to come in and try and grab the book from us.
Yeah.
Okay, let's back up.
You then hear Kelly say, "Where are you?"
I'm getting the F to the other side, at the other end of the corridor.
I think, Gemini looks crestfallen and she is silent as she retreats with the others.
You hear him banging on the double doors that would lead into the chamber with the glass dragon.
The main double door is not our secret door.
No.
Okay. Interesting. Do we want to open the door into into the Pharaoh's crypt just enough to let Saul in, so at least he can see what's going on?
It's me, open up, is what you hear him shouting.
Has he been
He's being
killed and raised?
puppeted.
Or maybe he's been killed and raised as a zombie or something.
Yeah.
Grim.
I think that was the goodbye it sounded like.
I think so.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I have all sorts of channel divinities and all these type of undead senses. So, I think I will, just to see how this goes, I will cast Turn Undead. Use my channel divinity and see if that has an effect on...
Is it an area of effect, or do you have to see them?
Turn Undead. I mean, funnily enough, I haven't used this very much in this whole campaign. So.
Considering how much he hates the undead.
I know.
And the whole big enemy is...
Yeah. I think the only time I've used it was on Averatus in Shadow.
Yeah.
Turn Undead. Where the hell is it? Maurice, come on.
Yep.
Encyclopedic mind.
I'm pretty sure it's a range.
For 2024 rules, there are so many subtle differences.
True. Let's just go to the goddamn book.
I mean, what I do have is this Seer Undead, which when they fail the saving throw, they take a lot of damage.
Yeah, I just remember something about them having to
30
flee
feet. 30 feet.
in all directions. Okay, great. So you cast that. He has to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh god.
Oh, he fails.
Oh.
So he's also going to take 5d8 radiant damage.
He doesn't have to though, does he? Oh,
whenever you use Turn Undead, any undead that fails its saving throw takes 5d8 radiant damage. This damage doesn't end the turn effect.
Cool.
And then he has to run away.
Then he has to
if
run
survives.
away. Well, I think I'm doing him a favor in that case.
Yeah.
5d8. Okay, so that's 22 radiant damage.
Nice. 22 radiant damage.
Could always, let me kill him and have his ghost round for a day.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point in time, we've recognized he's undead. We're probably doing him a favor by killing him and taking that puppet out.
Yeah. That's
I
what
don't
you...
think he'd like that.
That allows you to sleep at night.
Oh, God.
Yeah, right.
You get a sense that there are no more undead, and the banging on the door has stopped.
Oops.
You then hear
Doran says.
howl of frustration coming from the sarcophagus tomb.
Okay.
Nice try, big jobs. Doran cries. All right.
Let's get to resting.
We did what we could for Kelly. We'll honor him later. Let's rest and get to Luton.
Yeah.
Gemini is quiet and frustrated, but she knows they did what they could.
This is true. You
I
spend...
mean, if he wasn't undead, then he wouldn't have obviously been turned. So, yeah. Okay, carry on, guy. Sorry.
You spend the night in your tiny mansion. Do you take watches?
Yes.
Oh God, yeah.
Very good. Very good. The
I'll get
first...
Saul to stay up all night.
You have to rest, Godfrey.
have to-
You can't read all
have to
night.
rest.
No. Saul.
Oh, Saul.
Soul.
Yeah.
Not me.
Yeah. Saul looks at the three of you and goes, "What? You're just gonna let him abuse me like that? I've got to stay here and just watch?"
Soul, you do it so well.
I do, don't I? I mean, I really
Yeah.
do. Okay.
You read
Like,
it. She gives
he
him a
could
little.
read the book for you and then sort of narrate it too, like you're sleeping.
In the
Bedtime
dream.
story.
Yeah, in my dream. Yeah. That's good.
So, congratulations. You get your long rest. You get your level up.
Woohoo! Level 8, baby!
Oh,
That's
level 8.
exciting.
Hard fought.
Hard fought indeed.
Did you guys get anything fun or groovy for level 8?
Yeah,
Yeah. What'd you get?
stuff.
Okay,
Stuff
cool.
and things.
Yeah.
Stuff
Cool.
and things.
Stuff.
Now, no one in this group trusts each other enough to tell each other what they got. For narrative reasons, I'm not going to tell you. Okay.
No, Gottfried will say that he's going to take the Dimension Door so that we can all leave. Should that become, if we need a scarpery situation.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
That sounds
We will.
good.
Perfect. Yeah. So, as are we towards the end of the long rest, guy, or are we still?
Oh yeah, long
Yeah,
rest
okay.
is done. You've successfully completed the long rest. Not a problem at all.
I turn to the colleagues, my friends, and say, I spend some of the time in prayer. Shall I contact Reft?
Well, that's our next port of call. I
Okay.
think that's a
So-
good idea.
I'm going to sit down in my tiny temple and I'm going to start the ritual to cast divination, 4th level guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to contact Reft. And the spell is going to put me in contact with a god or god's servants. And I can ask a question about a specific goal, event, or activity to occur within the next 7 days. And the DM offers a truthful reply, which might be a short phrase or cryptic rhyme.
Mm.
And things can change in the future, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I'm going to ask the following question to Reft. Great Reft, will our gift of melody and mirth, madness and mysticism, given gladly in your glorious name, to safeguard and secret the second volume of the Crepuscularium, earn your gaze and grant us passage to the God's golden hall? And what I mean by that question is that, we're about to start a big ruckus with Selkos and maybe Versoth. And is that going to be enough, using the kind of Gemini's music, the melody, the mirth and chaos of Avaradus, the madness of Doran and Gottfried's mysticism? Is that going to be enough to earn an invitation to the God's golden hall from Reft?
Can I ask, how did those words of heresy feel on your tongue, O worshipper of Helvoth?
I'm a worshipper of the gods. Yeah, Halvoth is my god, but I still strongly believe in them.
I seem to remember a dwarf being struck by lightning for.
No, that's because I
Prince.
that's because I insulted the Kalasi sisters. I told them to be gone, you like foul beings and foul fiends. So they struck me with lightning, and then you two were bad mouthing Halvoth, so he struck you with lightning.
Yeah. That is true.
Do you remember that time?
You remember
Anyway.
me
Like
just
back
all
on the
getting
top of the
hit by
tower?
lightning
My
all the
God, that
time?
Anyway,
was
Scott, he's doing this for us, so shut up.
So, I want you to give me a Constitution saving throw, please, Doran.
Constitution saving throw. Is it on concentration for the spell or just general?
This is just a general Constitution saving throw.
16.
16.
Mm.
So you find yourself slightly aroused, and then you get a response.
Is somebody tickling me?
If that's what's going
Probably
to get
dead.
you aroused, then sure, you feel slightly tickled.
The cassock. Yeah.
The
Carry on.
response is, secrets are a bore. Embrace, you passionate. Truth is always at the fore. Do it like the bees do it. And that's it. That's all you get back.
Doran turns to his comrades and I said, it's time to get down.
You are going to have to find me several pills and potions. 67. Give me a break.
And
I'm game if you are.
whilst we figure that one out, we'll be back next week.
Wow.
Possibly.
Possibly.
So there we go. All right, folks. Thank you for watching, and check out the doobly-doo down below, to where you can find all sorts of cool stuff that is made by all these wonderful, beautiful people. And until next week, I wish you and yours the happiest of gaming. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Orgy time.